time for the Players Club here at the U Sports Report. Okay, so if you're a regular viewer or you watched last week, you would know that Kimberly was out of town. She was on vacation while the rest of us were hard at work. And that's okay. But one thing that we got to do that Kimberly didn't, we got to talk about the draft results for our football teams. Tyler spoke about the Cowboys. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. I got to speak about the Giants, you know, the only team in the NFC East to win a championship in the past couple years. Cowboys fans, yes. But Kimberly missed out, and I believe we wanted to give Kimberly the time, ladies and gentlemen, because the Jaguars were able to do something in the draft that is rarely done, and that is completely own it. So here you go. Kimberly brags about the Jags. Take it away.
I wish we had time to make a graphic for that. Would have been so great.
That'd
I
be
get
awesome.
to brag about the Jaguars, which doesn't get to happen very often.
I know.
I'm so excited. Okay, so if you guys know anything about Jacksonville, you know that they go into the NFL draft a little hot and heavy, and they don't always pull it off. They don't always make great decisions, but this year, for some reason, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with me on the show talking about who I think they should get. It's just a theory, rumor mill, you know, whatever. But the Jaguars went to the NFL draft this year, and they completely pulled it off with big success. There's some big names on our roster now, and I could not be happier about this.
Your guys really did the job well. They started off by taking Jalen Ramsey, the all-world defensive back out of Florida State, who many compare to Deion Sanders.
See, just the comparisons for the people that we picked up are beautiful. If we have a young Deion Sanders on our hands, Jacksonville could potentially have a very increasingly strong defense.
Yes.
We haven't had very much of a defense in the past few years. Our quarterback and our wide receivers have been putting in all the effort for the entire team, and now we'll have some people on our defensive line and elsewhere in our defense just providing some form of assistance.
Yes,
in this season.
A ton of assistance. Look, Gus Bradley's the head coach. He came from Seattle as the defensive coordinator. So he knows how to put together an all-world championship level defense.
Yes.
He just needed the players and the pieces. You got Malik Jackson out of Denver for the defensive line. You got some help there. But suddenly, in this draft, you just pulled off a marvelous coup. And in the second round, you got the guy I wanted for my New York Giants, linebacker out of UCLA, Myles Jack. How'd you do that, Kimberly?
I don't know. I don't know what the Jags had to do to make this happen. I don't know what fate, what stars aligned, whatever happened. I could not be happier about Myles Jack and Jalen Ramsey. And now Dante Fowler Jr. is coming off of his injury. He'll actually be able to play this year. We have an incredible lineup. We were ranked 13 in CBS Sports Power Rankings for the upcoming season, which I don't remember the last time the Jaguars were that high up. I think last year we were 28th.
Yes. The last time you guys were that high up, Mark Brunell was the quarterback and Tom Coughlin was the coach. That was a long
That is a while back.
Long time ago.
Back.
Both of those men are out of the NFL, but I love you, Coach Coughlin. You brought us 2 Lombardi trophies. Yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars are my sleeper pick to make the playoffs as a wild card. I think that division, the AFC South, is going to come down to basically a tiebreaker situation between the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Colts. This is the new hot young division in football, ladies and gentlemen, and because Jacksonville built that defense the way that they have. Look out, Indianapolis isn't going to run away with this, and Brock Osweiler is going to have to show he was worth every bit of that money because those guys on Jacksonville's defense are coming for him.
They are, and you know what? One of the best things about this draft is that not only did we rebuild a defense that was completely lacking, we were able to put some young talent in a position where they only have room to grow.
Yeah.
They're not stuck on a team where they'll sit the bench for a lot of their career. They're not stuck on a team where there's not a whole lot of possibility, but they've got great potential in this opportunity with Jacksonville. And, you know, Myles Jack and Jalen both tweeted that they were excited to go to Duval, that that's where they wanted to wind up. Of course, everybody says that. You just got paid, you got some sweet new gear, and a great opportunity to go pro. But to have the opportunity to go to a team that needs you and not just casually wants you on their roster just to see what happens or to trade you next year for something better, these guys have a great shot at making Jacksonville great again.
Yes, they do. Or make Jacksonville great again, or maybe Jacksonville great for the first time.
In 2007, we made it to the playoffs, and that's what I mean by great again.
2007.
I know,
that's
it's been
almost 10
so
years
long.
ago.
I know.
That's a long time. Well, I guess, you know,
But hey, every 10 years, playoffs,
That's not bad.
guess
It's like
it's
the census or
better
cicadas.
than none. Yeah.
Every 17 years, the cicadas come out. Jacksonville makes the playoff run.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, that kind of works for me. I mean, let's just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Like everybody's talking about it, and of course, we're not going to know how well our teams did in the draft until a few years down the road, because some players might be out of the league for injury or personal reasons, or just the fact that they couldn't play. Other players may not even be with the team that drafted them. But if you take a look at what Jacksonville has done to really build themselves, we look at the teams that in the past 10 years haven't been that good. We look at the Oakland Raiders and see what they've done, the recent moves they've made in the draft, really sticking with a disciplined approach. They're a much improved team. As we mentioned before, Jacksonville is taking this disciplined approach and becoming a much improved team. And the third team that's going to be improved, in my opinion, the Cleveland Browns, took a very disciplined approach, although it's through analytics and Moneyball in a sense, but they got themselves 14 new players. If half of those players stick, it's going to be a success for the Cleveland Browns. So look out, the balance of power is shifting. A lot of these older quarterbacks, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning has already retired. You look at Tom Brady, you look at Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. These guys are nearing the end of their careers. It is all about the young quarterbacks. If you look at the AFC South, Andrew Luck, Brock Osweiler, Marcus Mariota, and Mr. Blake Bortles. This is the best division with 4 of the best young quarterbacks who are going to be stepping it up and making moves happen. And yes, Blake Bortles threw for, 34 touchdowns last season?
Not enough.
He did have 17 interceptions. With this stellar defense, he doesn't necessarily, of course, you want him to cut down on the turnovers, but a turnover may not hurt them that badly anymore because this defense can go get off the field and get the ball back in his offensive hands.
Yes, and I joked with Tyler before the show, telling him, I'm better with us losing by 1 touchdown because we have a great defense than by 5 touchdowns because we have no defense. But now, like you said before, Blake Bortles has an opportunity to play more comfortably because he knows he has somebody on the other side of the ball that will be able to make up for some of the deficit he may create. These offensive players have a lot more opportunity to make risks and big decisions because they know the defense can come back and clean up some of those errors. And like you said before, the AFC South, they've got some offenses to be reckoned with.
That's
but
right.
with a defense that Jacksonville has just created for themselves, it is going to be a very beautiful season in the world of football, especially for me. And dear Jaguar haters, you can come every single season at me and telling me how much they hate or how much they suck or how bad they are. But I will tell you right now, the Jaguars have been working on this team for quite some time, and it is about time that we get some wins.
All right, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get some wins. High five on your team. Doing their thing. That's right. Kimbrey has just bragged about the Jags. We'll see what happens in the season. I know I'm excited. Coming up on the Youth Sports Report, we're going to have a little bit of the hot corner with the Maverick Man. Coming up.